The vast emptiness of space stretched before the human exploration vessel horizon, its sleek metallic hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain J. Park stood at the bridge, his dark eyes scanning the holographic display that flickered with an unusual signal. "Something's not right," he muttered to his first officer, Hana Kim. Her fingers danced across the navigation console, triangulating the mysterious transmission. The signal was weak but persistent, coming from a sector rarely explored by any galactic civilization. As they approached, the abandoned space station emerged from the cosmic darkness. It was massive, easily the size of a small moon, with sections that looked both ancient and strangely intact. Metallic surfaces were unmarked by space debris, suggesting recent maintenance, yet no signs of life were immediately visible. Dae Choi, the mission's rescue specialist, leaned forward. "I'm picking up multiple life signs. Faint but definitely present." His voice carried a mix of excitement and concern. The initial scans revealed something unprecedented. Hundreds of stasis chambers lined the station's interior, each containing a sleeping child from what appeared to be different alien species. No adults, no caretakers, just children, suspended in a delicate technological embrace. Hana's voice broke the silence. "Galactic communication channels are refusing to engage. No species wants to claim responsibility for these children." Her fingers traced the data streams, revealing a shocking diplomatic indifference. Captain Park knew they were facing a moment that would define humanity's reputation in the cosmic community. Other species had passed by, ignored the signal, refused to intervene. But humans were different. The boarding team prepared with meticulous care. Specialized environmental suits, advanced medical equipment, and translation devices were carefully checked and double-checked. Each team member understood the potential risks of an unknown environment. As airlocks synchronized and the first team entered the station, an eerie calm surrounded them. Soft blue lighting illuminated pristine corridors. Temperature and atmospheric conditions were perfectly maintained, suggesting automated systems had been running for years, perhaps decades. The first stasis chamber opened with a gentle hiss. Inside lay a child with iridescent skin and multiple small appendages. Its breathing was slow but steady. Medical scans showed complex biological systems unlike anything humans had previously encountered. "They're alive," Dae whispered, his professional demeanor momentarily replaced by pure wonder. "Each of them is alive." More chambers were carefully activated. Children of various shapes, sizes, and apparent species began to emerge. Some had skin that shifted colors like living camouflage. Others had multiple eyes or unusual skeletal structures. But they all shared one thing: a profound vulnerability. Captain Park understood immediately. This was more than a rescue mission. This was a statement about humanity's core values. Where other species saw inconvenience, humans saw potential. Where others saw burden, humans saw opportunity. Initial medical assessments revealed significant challenges. Each child came from a different biological environment, with unique nutritional and atmospheric requirements. It would take months, perhaps years, to fully understand and support their needs. Communication was another complex hurdle. No standard translation matrix worked effectively. The children's native languages seemed to be a complex mix of biochemical signals and subtle electromagnetic communications. As hours passed, the human team worked tirelessly. Portable laboratories were set up. Specialized life support systems were configured. Each child was treated with extraordinary care, their individual needs meticulously addressed. The station itself remained a mystery. No logs explained the children's origin. No records indicated why they were abandoned or how they came to be here. It was as if they had been deliberately left, waiting for someone, anyone, to discover and care for them. Hana reviewed the initial reports. "We can't contact their original species. No one in the galactic database matches these children's genetic profiles." Her voice carried a mix of professional analysis and genuine compassion. Captain Park made a decision that would echo through human history. "We're bringing them home," he said simply. "All of them." The Horizon's cargo holds began to transform. becoming a complex multi-environmental sanctuary. Hundreds of stasis chambers were carefully secured, each representing a life saved, a future preserved. As they prepared to leave the mysterious station, no one spoke. They didn't need to. The mission had changed everything, not just for these children, but for humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The medical bay of the horizon hummed with quiet intensity. Dr. Yoon Lee moved between the carefully arranged stasis pods, her eyes studying the complex life support systems monitoring each child. The rescue had been successful, but the real challenge was just beginning. Wu Xin, the medical officer, adjusted a specialized respirator designed for a child with translucent membrane-like skin. "We're dealing with at least 6 different biological systems," he muttered, wiping sweat from his forehead. Each child required a unique approach, a delicate balance of medical technology and human intuition. The first major challenge emerged with a small creature that seemed to breathe through multiple skin pores. Traditional oxygen systems were useless. Ri Han, the linguistic specialist, watched as Dr. Lee developed a custom atmospheric generator that mimicked the child's original environment. "We're not just saving lives," Yoon explained to her team. "We're preserving entire biological possibilities." Her fingers traced the intricate medical readings, each data point telling a story of survival against impossible odds. One child, with skin that shifted like living crystal, showed signs of extreme stress. Its body temperature fluctuated wildly, and standard medical protocols proved ineffective. Wu spent hours developing a specialized containment field that could stabilize its unique biological rhythms. Communication remained the most significant hurdle. The children didn't speak in traditional languages. Instead, they communicated through a complex system of bioelectromagnetic signals. Rihan worked tirelessly, developing translation algorithms that could interpret these subtle communication patterns. Days turned into weeks. The medical team discovered that each child carried traces of a profound collective trauma. Some would freeze when approached. Others showed heightened defensive responses that suggested deep-seated fear. A breakthrough came unexpectedly. A small child with multiple eye stalks began to respond to gentle musical frequencies. Dr. Yoon discovered that sound waves could trigger communication pathways previously undetected. It was like finding a hidden language within biological silence. The ship's resources were stretched to their limits. Special chambers were constructed, each designed to mimic the unique environmental conditions of different children. Nutritional systems were completely redesigned, creating custom feeding protocols that could support such diverse biological needs. Rihan made a remarkable discovery. The children seemed to share a collective memory, a faint psychic connection that transcended traditional communication. It was as if they carried a shared experience of loss and abandonment. "They're waiting," Ri explained during a team briefing. "Waiting for something, or someone." Psychological support became as critical as physical care. Dr. Yoon developed interactive programs that could help the children process their trauma. Simple games, carefully designed sensory experiences, and patient observation became their primary tools. One particularly challenging case involved a child with a crystalline nervous system. Traditional medical scanners couldn't penetrate its unique biological structure. Wu spent days developing a custom scanning method that could safely monitor its internal systems. The rescue mission was transforming the entire ship. Crew members who were not part of the medical team began to volunteer. They brought small gifts, created safe play areas, and learned to communicate through gentle gestures and soft sounds. Unexpected connections began to form. Some children showed remarkable adaptive abilities. They started to understand basic human interactions, responding to kindness with tentative curiosity. Rihan noticed something extraordinary. The children were beginning to learn from each other. Despite their different biological origins, they were developing a unique form of collective communication that bridged their individual differences. "We're not just rescuing them," Captain J. Park said during a private meeting with the medical team. "We're giving them a future they never thought possible." The challenges were immense. Each child required a level of care that pushed human medical technology to its absolute limits. Nutritional needs, psychological support, environmental maintenance. Every aspect of their survival demanded constant innovation. As weeks passed, small miracles began to emerge. Children who had been completely withdrawn started to show signs of engagement. Biological systems that seemed impossible to stabilize began to find a delicate balance. The horizon was no longer just a spacecraft. It had become a sanctuary, a floating world of hope and possibility. And at its heart were these children, survivors of an unknown catastrophe, now finding a new chance at life. The education center of the horizon had transformed into a vibrant, unusual learning space. Sue Kim watched carefully as the alien children attempted to understand basic human concepts, their unique bodies moving in ways that defied normal understanding. Min Choi had designed special learning modules that went beyond traditional education. Each child received a personalized learning approach that respected their biological and psychological differences. What worked for one child was completely ineffective for another. A small creature with skin that changed colors like a living mood ring struggled with basic mathematics. Its body would turn deep blue when frustrated, then shift to a bright green when understanding clicked. Sue realized they weren't just teaching, they were learning an entirely new way of communication. One particularly remarkable child showed an extraordinary ability to process complex spatial information. Where human children might take hours to understand a geometric concept, this alien child could visualize three-dimensional models in seconds. Its brain seemed to work like a living computer, processing information at speeds that amazed the human educators. Yoon Park, the primary counselor, discovered that emotional learning was the most critical component. These children had experienced profound loss. Their collective trauma ran deeper than any medical scan could reveal. Simple activities became powerful healing tools: group storytelling, sensory exploration, gentle physical interactions. The ship's recreation areas became experimental. Learning zones. Children who once cowered in fear now explored cautiously. They learned to play, to trust, to communicate. Each day brought small victories that felt like massive achievements. Language became a fascinating challenge. Traditional translation devices proved useless. Instead, the team developed a hybrid communication system that combined visual signals, electromagnetic pulses, and gentle sound frequencies. It was less a language and more a living conversation. Some children displayed unexpected talents. One small being could manipulate electromagnetic fields with mere thought. Another showed an incredible ability to sense emotional states across significant distances. The human team realized they were not just caring for survivors. They were witnessing a completely new form of intelligent life. Dietary challenges required constant innovation. Standard nutrition protocols were useless. The medical team created custom nutrient systems that could adapt to each child's unique biological requirements. Some required liquid nutrients that glowed with bioluminescent properties. Others needed complex chemical compounds that resembled nothing in human medical databases. Group interactions became the most fascinating aspect of their adaptation. Despite coming from different biological origins, the children began to develop their own social structures. They communicated through a complex system of color changes, subtle body movements, and electromagnetic pulses. Min Choi noticed something extraordinary during group activities. The children were teaching each other. Their collective learning process transcended traditional educational models. Where human children might compete, these alien children collaborated in ways that seemed almost telepathic. Cultural preservation became a critical consideration. The team understood they weren't just educating these children, they were helping them maintain their unique identities while integrating into a new environment. Each lesson was carefully designed to respect their original cultural foundations. Physical adaptation presented unique challenges. Some children required zero-gravity environments, others needed specific light frequencies or atmospheric compositions. The horizon gradually transformed, becoming a living, breathing ecosystem that could support such diverse biological needs. Psychological assessments revealed deep emotional complexity. These children carried memories of a loss so profound that traditional counseling techniques were ineffective. Yoon Park developed innovative therapeutic approaches that combined sensory experiences, collective healing techniques, and patient-gentle interaction. The most surprising development came unexpectedly. The children began to show genuine affection towards their human caretakers. Small gestures, a touch, a color shift, a unique sound, communicated trust and connection that went beyond verbal communication. Captain J. Park watched these developments with a mixture of wonder and responsibility. What had started as a rescue mission was becoming something much larger, a bridge between species, a testament to the power of compassion and understanding. As months passed, the children of the horizon were no longer just survivors. They were becoming something new, a unique blend of their original selves and their new human experience. Each day brought new discoveries, new challenges, and new hope. The adaptation was not just about survival. It was about creating a future that nobody could have imagined when they were first discovered in that abandoned space station. The research chamber buzzed with quiet intensity. Jun Wang, the lead historian, carefully manipulated holographic data streams extracted from the abandoned space station. Fragments of information danced before his eyes. Encrypted signals, partial transmission logs, and mysterious energy signatures that defied conventional understanding. Kyung Park, the xenoarchaeologist, worked methodically beside him. Her hands moved across complex scanning equipment, piecing together a puzzle that seemed intentionally designed to remain unsolved. The children's origin was becoming more mysterious with each discovered detail. Initial scans revealed something shocking. The space station was not simply abandoned, it had been deliberately hidden. Advanced cloaking technologies had masked its existence for what seemed like decades, perhaps even centuries. Someone or something had gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure these children remained undetected. He Ryu, the intelligence analyst, discovered the first significant breakthrough. Buried deep within fragmented data cores were references to a massive interstellar conflict. The details were incomplete, but the implications were terrifying. These children were not simply orphans. They were survivors of a potential genocidal event. "Look at this," Kyung whispered, projecting a complex holographic model. The image showed multiple star systems interconnected by complex energy pathways. Entire civilizations appeared to have been systematically eliminated, with these children representing the only remaining survivors. The research team worked around the clock. They discovered that the children carried unique genetic markers, each one a living record of a civilization that might have been completely destroyed. Their very existence was both a memorial and a mystery. Encrypted communication logs suggested a deliberate evacuation. Someone had gone to extraordinary lengths to preserve these children, but who and why? The questions multiplied faster than answers could be found. June identified unusual technological signatures within the children's biological systems. Microscopic technological implants were integrated so deeply into their genetic structure that they were nearly undetectable. These were not simple medical augmentations, they were complex preservation systems. The most disturbing discovery came from genetic analysis. The children were not random survivors. They had been carefully selected, their genetic profiles suggesting they represented the most critical genetic information of their respective species. He's analysis revealed a pattern. Each child carried genetic information that could potentially recreate entire biological libraries of lost civilizations. They were living archives, biological time capsules designed to preserve knowledge beyond potential extinction. Mysterious energy signatures suggested an advanced technological intervention. The preservation technology was centuries ahead of current human understanding. Someone, or something, had created a sophisticated survival mechanism that transcended traditional biological preservation. Communication fragments hinted at a massive conflict. References to the Great Dissolution appeared repeatedly in encrypted transmissions. The research team realized they were looking at the survivors of a galactic event so profound that it had potentially reshaped entire civilizations. Kyung discovered something extraordinary in the genetic data. The children were not just survivors, They were deliberately engineered to adapt, to learn, to integrate. Their biological systems were designed with an almost impossible level of flexibility. The implications were staggering. These children represented more than individual lives. They were potential keys to understanding entire lost civilizations. Each of them carried genetic memories, technological knowledge, and biological information that could revolutionize human understanding of the universe. June's hands trembled as he processed the data. They didn't just survive, he told his team. They were prepared to be found by someone specific. The research revealed a complex network of preservation protocols. The children's very existence was a message, a carefully designed communication method that could only be understood by those willing to look beyond traditional scientific boundaries. As the team worked, they realized they were not just uncovering a mystery. They were participating in a complex rescue operation that had been planned centuries ago by an unknown civilization. The children waiting in the medical bay were no longer just survivors. They were living witnesses to a cosmic event so profound that its full implications might take generations to understand. Captain J. Park listened to the research team's report, understanding that their rescue mission had become something much larger. They were no longer just saving children. They were preserving the most complex and valuable historical record in known space. The origin mysteries continued to unfold, each discovery raising more questions than answers. The Galactic Assembly Hall fell silent when Ara Kim stepped forward. Behind her stood Tae Shin, the first alien orphan to complete human space training. His body, a complex blend of crystalline and organic structures, reflected the chamber's lights, a living symbol of adaptation and hope. Diplomatic relations had never witnessed such a moment. Hundreds of species watched as this young cadet represented, not just himself, but an entire generation of rescued children. His presence challenged everything the galaxy understood about survival, integration, and potential. Bin Park, the senior diplomatic officer, presented the comprehensive report. Years of careful research, medical innovation, and compassionate care had transformed a rescue mission into a groundbreaking interspecies initiative. The numbers were staggering: 237 orphans, now integrated into human and galactic societies, each becoming a bridge between civilizations. Tae Shin's first official report detailed their collective journey. He spoke of trauma, adaptation, and unexpected hope. His voice, a combination of electromagnetic pulses and precise human language, described experiences that defied traditional understanding. The assembly listened, captivated. The children had become more than survivors. They were scholars, researchers, explorers. Some worked in advanced scientific fields, their unique biological structures allowing them to solve problems that had stumped researchers for generations. Others became cultural ambassadors, teaching understanding through their very existence. Medical advancements emerged from their unique physiological structures. Technologies developed to support these children now helped treat complex medical conditions across multiple species. What began as a rescue mission had become a revolutionary scientific breakthrough. Educational systems were completely redesigned. Schools now included specialized programs that could support multi-species learning. The concept of education itself had transformed, becoming more fluid, more adaptive, more inclusive. Genetic research revealed extraordinary details. These children carried preservation technologies so advanced that they could potentially rebuild entire lost civilizations. Each of them was a living library, a biological archive of knowledge that transcended traditional scientific understanding. The first interspecies exploration team was forming, with Tae Shin as a lead specialist. Their mission: to investigate the origins of their mysterious space station, to understand the conflict that had left them orphaned. It was a journey of both scientific discovery and personal healing. Diplomatic protocols changed. The Galactic Assembly created new categories of refugee protection, inspired by humanity's intervention. Species that once ignored abandoned children now developed comprehensive rescue and integration programs. Ara Kim watched as Tae Shin demonstrated advanced navigation techniques, His ability to interface directly with spacecraft systems was unprecedented. Where human pilots required complex training, he could connect through pure thought and electromagnetic communication. The children's collective experiences had created something unique, a new form of galactic citizenship. They were neither fully human nor entirely of their original species. They represented a new kind of potential, a living example of adaptation and resilience. Cultural exchange programs expanded. The orphans became living bridges between civilizations. Their ability to understand and communicate across biological and cultural boundaries offered unprecedented diplomatic opportunities. Some children chose to return to their potential home regions, equipped with advanced technologies and comprehensive historical records. Others remained integrated with human society, creating complex multicultural families that redefined traditional understanding of belonging. Technological innovations emerged from their unique perspectives. Communication systems, medical technologies, and space exploration techniques were revolutionized. The children's complex biological structures offered solutions to problems that had seemed unsolvable. Captain J. Park, now a senior advisory board member, reflected on their journey. What had begun as a simple rescue mission had transformed human understanding of life, adaptation, and potential. These children were living proof that compassion could be the most powerful exploration tool. First Interstellar Memorial was established. Honoring the lost civilizations represented by these children, it became a symbol of hope, a testament to survival, and a reminder of the complex, interconnected nature of galactic existence. Tai Shin looked out into the vast space beyond the assembly hall. His body shifted colors, a complex, emotional response that no translator could fully capture. He represented hope, survival, and the extraordinary potential of life itself. As the galactic assembly session concluded, something had fundamentally changed. The universe seemed larger, more complex, more full of possibility. And at the center of this transformation were 237 children who had been abandoned but never forgotten. The new horizons stretched before them, infinite, mysterious, and filled with unprecedented potential.